If a source of sound has frequency f, then the produced sound will always have frequency f. It will never change. Imagine hitting a table once every second. Someone at the other end will hear the noise once every second. If the listener put their head to the table, the sound would reach them 5 times faster, but they still only hear one hit every second, because only one hit is happening every second. Frequency does not change. But the Doppler effect, when the sound of a car racing past goes wee, that does not mean the car engine is changing frequency, but the listener, the observer, perceives the pitch differently. We need to consider the frequency of the source, Fs, and the frequency perceived by an observer, Fo. When a source of sound is stationary, each successive wavefront is created centered with the previous one, creating a series of circles with a common center. When a source of sound is moving, each successive wavefront originates from a different position, such that the centers of the circles are not in the same place. Pausing the diagram, we can just look at the wavefronts. The source of the sound was moving to the right, and in front of the source of sound, we can measure the wavelength to find it is small. A small wavelength is recognized as a large frequency. Behind the source of sound, we can measure the wavelength to find it is large. A large wavelength is recognized as a small frequency. This means that an observer in front of the source sound will perceive a large frequency, whilst an observer behind the source of sound will perceive a small frequency. The actual frequency of the source hasn't changed. Now the equation Fo equals Fs, V over V plus or minus Vs, that describes how the observed perceived frequency depends on the relative velocity. So V is the speed of sound in the medium, and Vs is the speed of the source relative to the observer. If the source is moving towards the observer, Fo is increased, so use the minus sign, and if the source is moving away from the observer, Fo is decreased, so use the plus sign.